Hi there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Gillian Perkins, and if you're new here, welcome. This is going to be a mini masterclass on how to get noticed on YouTube and how to get your channel growing, even if right now you are starting at zero. I've got a lot to cover, so we are going to zoom through this as fast as possible. If you want more resources, if you want more information on any of this, check down below. I have an hour-long masterclass that you can register for and watch for free that goes a lot deeper into a few of the things that I'm going to cover in this video. But here I just wanted to kind of give you the overview of everything you needed to know. If you're trying to grow your YouTube channel, one of the first things I think you should know is just that the first 1,000 subscribers are the most difficult to get. And just in general, the more subscribers you get, the easier it is to grow. But especially the first 100 can be the very hardest. You really have to work for them one at a time. And then after that, you can start to utilize more of these strategies I'll get into in this video. And that can get you to 1,000, but it still is going to be slow. But as soon as you hit that 4-digit mark, things just start to snowball and grow. So if things are going slow now, don't be discouraged. Keep working on making great videos and using these strategies that we'll talk about, and you will see that growth that you want to see. Okay, and then the last thing that I wanted to touch on before we get into the actual tips is I just think you should know that when you start a YouTube channel, it takes the algorithm a little bit of time to really discover your channel. And what I mean by that is for the algorithm to learn what your videos are about and to figure out who wants to watch them. So it's not that when you make a YouTube channel, YouTube doesn't know it exists or you have to wait to get listed or something like that. It's just that for the algorithm to work its magic, and its magic is like matchmaking subscribers with videos that they want to watch, it has to take some time to listen to your videos. Like literally, the algorithm listens to your videos and creates those captions for you. And then it starts to test it against different users on YouTube. And it takes a while for the algorithm to start to find patterns or trends with who likes your videos. And so when you first start making videos, if you're not getting hardly any views, that's why. The algorithm just can't help you very much yet because it doesn't really know who would want to watch your videos. But the more videos you make and the more time that passes, the more time the algorithm has to test your channel. So the more the algorithm does test your channel and test your videos, and the more people it finds who likes them, and that gives the algorithm the ability to then suggest it to more similar sorts of people, which gives the algorithm more data, which allows it to help your channel grow faster and faster. I hope that made sense. If it didn't, just back up the video about 30 seconds, listen to that again, and I think it will make sense. Okay, so with that explained, let's get on into what you need to do to get noticed and start growing your channel. The very first thing is to increase your odds. As I mentioned, the algorithm is designed to match videos with viewers who want to watch them. And it is your best friend for growing your YouTube channel because it will help your channel grow without you having to do a whole lot of work on your end to actually promote your videos. The algorithm can suggest your videos to people who want to watch them. So in order to have that happen and make that work as best as possible, you need to increase your odds of getting discovered by the algorithm and helping the algorithm know what your videos are about, and by giving the algorithm positive results. And what I mean by that is making it so the algorithm discovers that people actually like your videos. So in order to do that, there are a few different things you can do. First of all, making more videos. The more videos you make, especially when you're first starting out, the more videos you will give the algorithm to test. So if you just make one video, then the algorithm will test it a little bit. It might not find people who like it, and then it will stop testing it, and your channel will not grow. But if you make a video every week, or if you make 2 videos every week, or 3 videos every week, you're gonna be feeding the algorithm videos to test, and that will help your channel grow faster. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that more is better, because if your videos aren't good enough, then people won't like them and the algorithm won't discover that people like them. And when I say like them, I don't mean hit the like button. I mean people click on them and people enjoy watching them and people watch them until the end. So you need to make as many good quality videos as you can if you want to increase your odds. Okay, the next thing that you can do ties right on into that with increasing your odds, and that is to help the algorithm out. Not just by making a lot of good quality videos, but by helping the algorithm really understand what your videos are about. And how you can do that is with your video's title down there and your description and your tags. Now there are some tips and tricks that we're not going to get into right now just because it's more nitty-gritty and it would take a lot of time and it's not going to have the biggest impact. What you really need to focus on with those tags and titles and descriptions is just to make them as clear and accurate as possible. It's great to try to be compelling or to try to use different strategies, but if you don't know what you're doing, just focus on the basics and think about how to tell the algorithm what your video is really about. So use tags that make sense for your video's topic, write an informative description that really explains what your video is about, and use an accurate title, because all of that will help the algorithm to better understand what your video is about so that the algorithm tests it with the right people, which is so key, because if you give the algorithm the wrong information and it suggests it to the wrong people, the algorithm will basically think that people hate your video, that they aren't interested in it at all. And that might not be the issue at all. People might love your video, the algorithm might just be recommending it to the wrong people. So that's why my second tip for you is just to help the algorithm out by giving it accurate information. The third main thing you can do to get noticed on YouTube and get your channel growing is to increase your click-through ratio. Click-through ratio means how many people click on your video when the algorithm recommends it. So if the algorithm recommends it to 100 people, does 1% click on your video? That would be a 1% click-through ratio. Or do 10 people click on your video? That would be a 10% click-through ratio. The more people who click on your video, the higher your click-through ratio, and the more the algorithm will recommend that video to similar people. Does that make sense? If not, again, rewind the video so that you understand what click-through ratio is, because it's super important. The higher you can get the click-through ratio on your videos, the more views they'll get, and the more views your channel will get, and the faster your channel will grow. So there are two main things you can do to increase your click-through ratio. They are to work on your video's title and to work on your video's thumbnail. And the reason those are the things is because when someone is deciding whether or not to watch your video, those are really the only two things they can see, aside from the view count, which you can't directly impact yourself. So title. Obviously you need to work on having an accurate title. That's important for the algorithm to recommend it to the right people, but you also want to make sure that your title is interesting and really attracts your viewers' attention. So it will appeal to the right people. One of my favorite tricks is to appeal to people's curiosity, which basically means that you want to tell them what the video is about, but you also want to introduce a question into their mind. So like you tell them, I did XYZ, and then they wonder what happened. Or you tell them that you experimented with something. Or you tell them that this video is about the fastest way to grow on YouTube, right? And then they wonder, what is the fastest way to grow on YouTube? So you want a title that is accurate and a title that is interesting, and you also want a title that somehow makes your viewer ask a question. So then the other thing you can affect is the thumbnail. So long story short, if your thumbnail is more attractive looking to your target viewer, then you're going to get more clicks. Some of the ways you can do this are by having your face in the thumbnail, by having an interesting expression. That's why we see so many popular YouTubers with the YouTube expression, or something like that, because it does attract people's eyes. You also want to make sure that you have, if you have text on your thumbnail, you don't have too much text, because then your words will be too small, people can't see them, especially if they're on mobile or something like that. This is something I actually get into in depth in that longer YouTube workshop that I recommended, that there's a link for down below. Like I said, that workshop is free, and in it I like go over I compare good and bad thumbnails, and I break down exactly what is different about them. So if you want more details on how to improve your thumbnails, then check that out. Okay, so that was the third thing, increasing your click-through ratio. Let's move on now to the fourth thing, which is increasing your watch duration. This is the other thing that the algorithm cares about a ton. Watch duration is basically just how long people watch your videos for, and the longer people watch your video for, the more the algorithm will perceive that people like it, and the more it will recommend it to similar people. So if you want the algorithm to help you out, to recommend your video to more people, you need to keep them watching. There are obviously a lot of different things you could do to keep people watching. I'm sure you have some ideas yourself already, but I jotted down a few here. The first one is video format. This is something people don't talk about very much, but it is very important. So basically there's just like different types of videos on YouTube. There are list videos, there are tutorials, there are vlogs, which are basically like the stories of people's day. Obviously, you know, there's lots of different kinds of videos. And sometimes people make videos that are very rambly and don't really follow one of those formats, and those videos don't tend to perform very well on YouTube. Now, of course, there are exceptions, which we're not going to get into right now. There's normally a reason why the exceptions still do well, but in general, you're going to have the best time, the easiest time getting people to watch from beginning to end if you stick to one of those identifiable formats, because then people will know what to expect from your video, not necessarily like what the answer to that question in their mind is, or what like the outcome will be, but at least they'll know the general sort of direction that the video is going. So like if it's a list video, they'll know, okay, I'm on point number 3, you know, list item number 3. Okay, I can expect list item number 4, and then 5, and then 6. So that will keep them watching. Or if it's a tutorial, if you're on the first step of the process, they know it's going to the last step, that they're gonna get to learn whatever the title promised them that they would learn. Or if it's a vlog video, if it's a daily vlog, maybe it starts in the morning, they're expecting it to end in the evening. And so that's kind of what keeps them watching, is that understanding of what is going to come. Another thing you can do, of course, is just to keep your videos as interesting and entertaining as possible. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be funny, but the more you can keep your videos interested in the content, the longer they'll keep watching. Kind of obvious, but totally true. Then engaging and interactive. If you can ask your viewers questions, get them to comment, if you can get your viewers to do something or somehow involve them in the video, that will keep them watching longer. Because if they're not engaged, then they're probably tuning out, and then they're getting bored, and then they're going to click on something else. And then the final one is just video pace. If your video is too slow, most of the time, people will get bored and will stop watching. Now, there are exceptions. There are some really nice, relaxing, slow-paced videos on YouTube that people watch for that specific purpose. But most of the time, if people are watching a video because it is entertaining or because it's informative, they want it to be pretty quick-paced. Even if it's a longer video, it needs to keep moving along, or else people will get bored, will get distracted, and they'll click on one of those tempting suggested videos over there in that suggested videos column. Okay, and tip number 5 for how to get noticed on YouTube is to collaborate. There are lots of different ways you can collaborate here on YouTube, and the reason why this can grow your channel is because one way you can grow your channel is by utilizing the algorithm and helping the algorithm, and that can really get YouTube to suggest your channel to new people. But like I said, at the beginning, that can be a little bit slow because the algorithm just doesn't have enough data. But if you collaborate with other people who have audiences that are similar to the audience you are trying to attract, then you can get in front of their audience. You can become visible to their audience. You can be introduced to that audience. And that can help more people to find your videos, which can help your subscriber count to grow. It can help you to get more views on your videos. And that in turn will give the algorithm more data, which can help to accelerate that snowball process. So a few ways that you can collaborate are to either do a video with someone else where you actually like are in their space and you make a video together on one channel or the other, or you can do it virtually where you, there's two main ways you can do this. One way is where you both make a video on a similar topic. Maybe you both make a video about how to decorate a small space, and person number 1 shares 5 tips on how to decorate a small space, and person number 2 shares 5 more tips on how to decorate a small space, and they both talk about the other person's video in their video. Maybe they include like a little screenshot of the other person's video, and that can drive some traffic, and it's a really easy kind of collaboration. The other way is you could make a video where the other person is actually on your channel. So maybe same idea, how to decorate in a small space, but in the video on your channel, you introduce the other person and you say, in this video, they're going to share with you 5 ways to decorate your small space, and then on your channel, the other person's video plays, and vice versa. And so that way is a little bit more work, I would say, and a little bit harder to get right. But the nice thing about it is that the introduction is a little bit more complete, where the viewers actually get to see you on someone else's channel. So those are just a few different ideas. Another type of collaboration that isn't done as much here on YouTube is giveaways. You can partner with other YouTubers to do a giveaway, and then again, you're just getting your name mentioned by other YouTubers, which can help to get your channel more visibility. So that is a great way to, like I said, accelerate the process of getting the algorithm to find your channel and getting it to start, well, getting it more data that it needs so it can figure out who to promote your videos to. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the main things that you can and should do if you want to get noticed on YouTube and start your YouTube channel growing. I know this was a lot of information. I know I went through it really quickly. Like I said, if you want a more in-depth tutorial and walkthrough on a few of these topics, then check out that workshop down below. Some of the things I specifically touch on is I go way more into detail about how the algorithm actually works and how to work with it. And then I talk about how to do keyword research, which we really didn't get into in this video at all, because that doesn't so much relate to how to get noticed on YouTube, but it's a very important precursor, like something you need to do, because if you don't do keyword research and competitor research, then you might be making videos about topics people aren't actually interested in, and then you could do all these things that we just covered and you wouldn't really see that big of a result, because if people aren't interested in your video topics, then you can't really convince people to watch them. So if you don't already understand keyword research and competitor research, that workshop is a great resource. All right, well, that is it for today's video. If you guys have any questions about any of this stuff, please do just comment below and ask. I try to be in the comments as much as possible and answer as many questions as I can. I go through my comments on at least a weekly basis, but I try to have it be more like daily. So leave me a comment down below with any questions you have about how to get noticed and grow your YouTube channel, and I would love to help you out. If you want to learn even more about this, sorry, I'm like so full of resources today, but if you want to learn even more about how to grow your YouTube channel, then you could consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, because I make a lot of videos about how to grow on YouTube, how to get noticed, how to make better videos, and also how to turn your success on YouTube into a profitable online business that allows you to work for yourself. So if you're interested in either of those sides of things, either the YouTube side of things or the making money online side of things, then subscribe so you don't miss my next videos, because we've got some awesome ones coming up in the next couple months here. Okay, well, that is everything for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this. I hope you found it super helpful, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye, guys.